Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be playing Of Sense and Soul, a new demo by Forsythia Productions that has just released. A little bit about the game. Of Sense and Soul is a late Victorian M/M slice of life romance visual novel and the first game by Forsythia Productions. It will be available for PC, Windows and Linux. You can get the game and its demo at forsythiaproductions.itch.io. Links, as usual, will be in the description. About the game, Of Sense and Soul is a story lost to time, centred on two men navigating the smog-covered streets of Victorian London. Hugo Brooks, an editorialist who never adventures far outside the written word, and Seamus Charkham, a confirmed bachelor who is determined to gulp life down right to the last drop. Both are set in their ways, and both are in desperate need of a change, though loath to admit it. Despite wanting to believe they're satisfied with continuing on as they have been, they find that sometimes things can change for the better. And that marks we leave on the lives of those around us are so much greater than we realize. The game, it looks really nice. I love the UI, it's really pretty. So let's get started. Now then, let's see how we might go about setting the scene. Yesterday evening, a quiet neighbourhood was shocked by scandalous reports that one of its residents was engaged in a most surprising endeavour. Residents were left to question whether they truly understood their fellow man at all. There. Even these ordinary little scandals can have a bit of literary in them, if only one knows where to look. Ha! Well, that's what sells the papers, isn't it? We can't all have literary aspirations, can we? No, not all of us can be Mr. Brooks. Any more of him and this place would turn bohemian overnight. Isn't that so, Mr. Brooks? Eyewitnesses reported that Miss Carter's account was, Mr. Brooks, in the interest of, and preserving the public decency, Brooks! We at the Daily Creed can only caution our readership insofar as Brooks! Ugh, lost in the pages again, eh? Oh, I'm sorry, gentlemen. What were you saying, something? Oh, you've just proven my point, Brooks, that's all. Well, I'd best be getting home. My wife will be wandering after me before long. Have a good evening, boys. And Mr. Brooks, try not to get so drawn in that you forget to go home yourself. I like that the art almost looks traditional, like it could have been done with a pencil. It's really nice. Got such a nice aesthetic to this game. Well, don't worry about me. I'll be along shortly. I just wanted to finish this article and then... Oh, he's left. In fact, most of my co-workers have left too. Not unusual for Saturday. But surely the rest of the articles can wait until Monday. Away home for the evening then, I suppose. If I leave now, I can even stop by the library on my way. Results! No excuses count. Gotta meet those KPIs. I depart from an almost empty office with a book tucked under my arm. It is the 24th of April, 1875, and Hugo Brooks is on his way home from work through the streets of London on a Saturday evening, rather. Doggies! First game had cats, this one has dogs. What a day. I'm sure Monday will be just as tiring. We are working to a deadline after all. That's odd. Someone has left a newspaper out. Could it have been Mrs. Wright? That's unlike her. And how strange. It isn't the normal paper. Instead, it's the matrimonial news? Seeking the acquaintance of a most attractive young lady. Heavens! I can't imagine how or who. Who reads these sorts of things anyway? There you are. I was beginning to wonder if you'd gotten yourself lost on the way home back from the paper. Camilla, you startled me. I don't know why I'm trying to use an accent. Someone stop me. Hello, cousin. I hope it isn't too much trouble that I've stopped by unannounced. No, not in the least. You know I'm always glad to see you. And are you? Besides, I felt awful to not have seen you. To what? I can speak, I promise. I can also read. Apparently not well. Besides, I felt awful to not have been by to see you on your birthday. I thought I should at least come by now and make sure the festivities weren't wild enough to overwhelm you. I laugh. Festivity? I had a quiet night in, but thank you for thinking of me, and for the lovely gift. It looks like it must have taken you ages. I can't imagine the work that goes into embroidery like that. No, I'm sure most men find it well beyond them. But I worry that you spend the day alone. Surely your colleagues at the Creed must have come by to wish you well. Oh, I'm sure most of them hadn't the slightest idea that it was my birthday at all. And really, Camilla, you know I don't mind. I liked the quiet. There's nothing I like better, in fact, than a peaceful night at home, with my books to keep me company. Other than a visit from your favourite cousin, I'm sure. Of course. She laughs. I'm only teasing, Hugo. The whole family made peace with coming second to your reading long ago. But I suppose that's why I'm here, in part. Of course I wanted to wish you well, but as a part of that, I wanted to come by to express a little gentle familiar concern. Concern? Concern over what? Well, my dear Hugo, I can't imagine it's comfortable for you out here at all alone. Do you really mean to be a lodger for the rest of your life? What? I only mean... Well, I suppose your mother nominated me, seeing as you and I were always the closest to one another out of all the cousins. To come and press you gently on the subject of marriage. What? What? Oh, don't act like it's such a ridiculous idea. You're nearly 30, Hugo. It's well past time. You should start to think of these things. What is she talking about? My life is perfectly wonderful. There is nothing to be concerned about in the least. Human. I have human contact. I have colleagues and Mrs. Wright and, well, you come and visit me sometimes. But you just said that your colleagues don't know you particularly well. And if that's the sum of your... Rip! And if that's the sum total of your list of friends and loved ones, you've made me more concerned, dear cousin, not less. Rip. Oh, don't look at me like that. I haven't come to drag you directly to the altar now. I just thought, well, your mother thought, and I agree, that a small reminder that you aren't getting any younger won't go amiss. I'm not altogether sure what the look on my what? I'm not altogether sure about the look on my face, but I'm certain it isn't pleasant. chin up. It's not as bad as if you'd been born a lady. You would have started getting these sorts of well-meaning visits a decade ago at least. And I suppose it was you who brought in that newspaper. Clever as always, yes. Of course, I'd be more than willing to introduce you to some fine ladies I know, but knowing you, I thought a written introduction might be a little more easier for you to stomach. Whichever tactic ends up working. Okay, sorry, I had to pause there because I had to sneeze. So, let's continue. Whichever tactic ends up working is the most effective one after all. It does sound a little less daunting than being introduced in person. Though I'm still not certain I see the point in any of this at all. I'm not the eldest son. I don't need to carry on the family name. Nathaniel has that well in hand, I'm sure. No, but marriage is still a beautiful thing. Companionship, if not romance, is a beautiful thing, Hugo. Just promise me you'll at least give that paper a look, alright? Have a read over it, and see if you can't find even a single young lady in there who strikes your fancy. Well, only because it's you, Camilla. Alright, I promise. And I'm sure that's why your mother sent me, instead of someone else. Alright, good. Well, with that settled, I had better be getting on. Won't you stay for tea? No, I'm wanted at home. And I'll pass by your parents' house on the way. I'm sure your mother will be wanting an update. Hopefully, my word will keep her mind at ease for a good long while, and give you as much time as needed to determine a course of action. Won't they be surprised? Just as long as there is a course of action. Thank you, Camilla. It was nice to see you, truly. Even if you came bearing this. Gestures vaguely. He was well, dear cousin. Good night. And once again, I am left in the quiet, alone. Well, alone save for the matrimonial news. It sits on the table forebodingly. Ugh, I can't believe she talked me into promising anything at all. What a ridiculous idea, this paper. As though anyone could fit their whole self in one little block of text, enough to get to know them. As though any of it will be of any interest at all. I'm sure these are all from perfectly lovely ladies, but I skim over the text. Maiden, 24, skilled in housework. And I suppose that is her most noteworthy quality. Affectionate little woman, 30, some means. Oh, no, she appears to be from Dorset. That certainly wouldn't work. What does that mean? A young lady, English, Protestant, all right. Seeks engagement as a companion to a lady. Of course she does. What a pack of nonsense. The whole idea was rubbish right from the start. Well, at least I can tell Camilla that I tried. Only one more, and then I can truly say I read through them all and found none of interest. Let's see. Seeking a gentleman of an artistic nature, I am of good fortune and esteem, and seek a companion with a mind and manner akin to my own. Address, Post Office 56, Regent Street, St. James. Seeking a gentleman of artistic nature. It's just going to go through it again. I read the thing, not the text. I am of good fortune and esteem, and seek a companion with a mind and manner akin to my own. Address, Post Office 56, Regent Street, St. James. Well, I suppose poetry is among the highest forms of art, isn't it? I have to say, I truly didn't expect any of them to be quite so. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to respond, would it? Surely the lady won't write back, but... And at least I can tell Camilla I've truly tried my best. No one could fault me for that. I'll just write her one letter. And that will be all I hear of it, I'm sure. But what if she writes back? I don't suppose I can risk that. Camilla and Mother can fuss all they like, but I'm perfectly happy. And I haven't the time to find a wife. Not if I ever wish to be taken seriously as a writer. Well, whatever I decide, I suppose it can wait. For now, I'd best find something to eat. And try to get a little writing done before it gets too late. Of sense and soul. Ooh, there's like a intermission little thingy. That's cool. I really can't believe I'm doing this. I shouldn't be doing this. Oh, Camilla, if you weren't my favourite cousin, I dare say well, I would be very put out with you right now. So polite. I sigh. Well, no use wasting any more time dithering. I'll put it in with the Morning Post. And that will be the last I hear of it, I'm sure. After all, I'm certain that no sensible young lady would write back to me. Goodness, it's at the time. I had better be on my way. I do still have an article to finish. Morning, Mr. Brooks. You went home the other night after all, eh? Yes. Good morning, Mr. Bentley. Are you sure it is a good morning, though? You look a bit peaky there. Of course I am. Perfectly fine, yes. Thank you for your concern, but if you'll excuse me. Goodness, do I really look that poorly? Pull yourself together, Hugo. It was only one letter, and it's out of your hands now. Brooks! Oh dear. Did you finish that article on the Costa business? Why am I talking like this? I can't help. Mr. Colston. Yes, that is... I'll have it for you in just a moment. I only had a few final thoughts. This isn't the Oxford Press, Brooks. It just has to sell papers, not win any blasted awards. Give it to me now, or better yet, 5 minutes ago. Yes, sir, of course. He's in a bit of a temper. I must not be the only one running up against the deadline for the upcoming edition. I'd better get to it. The music in this game is really pretty. I really want the soundtrack. Mr. Brooks, there's post for you. Time for the afternoon post already. For me? What? Oh. Oh no. Bow, bow, bow. No? I'm sorry. Nothing. I mean, thank you. Thanks. She wrote back? Even more than that. She wrote back right away. Oh, it's just a note for Camilla. Way to give a man a heart attack. Goodness, what's come over me? Of course it couldn't have been the woman from the advertisement. I gave him my home address for return, not my workplace. This whole affair has got me twisted up. More than I'd like to admit, it seems. It's odd. I'm relieved, of course, but at the same time, I'm just the tiniest bit disappointed. See, Mr. Brooks? It was only a letter after all. What? You were looking at it as though you thought it would bite your hand off. I would have thought a man of literary as you would be a little less afraid of the written word. Yes, well, if you'll excuse me, I'm afraid I really must be getting back to work, and I suppose Camilla might have been right about one thing. It's possible I could stand to get to know my co-workers a little better. Thinking I'm afraid of a letter, honestly. You were afraid of a letter. With Mr. Hammond back to his own work, I can actually read Camilla's note. Dearest Hugo, let this letter serve as a bit of encouragement to you. I've been thinking of you since Saturday evening. It is never easy to step outside one's familiar social setting, and I know it's particularly hard for you. I wanted to be sure you knew that that difficulty was recognized. Your mother is terribly pleased with you, I think. She was most relieved to hear last night that I had convinced you to try and reach out. You must know that the both of us think the world of you. We only want to see you happy. Now, with all that affectionate nonsense out of the way, I will let you return to your work. Far be it for me to distract you for too long. Yours, as ever, Camilla. It's always good to hear from her. And I do know that she means well. Of course I know that. Mother, too. Whether or not there's a letter waiting at home from my mystery advert girl today, or tomorrow, or ever, that won't change. That's all well and good. It's easy to say it. But I'd prefer not to feel so anxious about the whole thing. I suppose there's no sense in worrying. But that doesn't make it any easier not to worry. Ooh, angry man. Brooks! Have you finished your damn edits, man? That, on the other hand, helps more than it probably ought to. If I'm writing, I can't be worrying, can I? Very nearly, Mr. Coulson. If you'll just give me a few moments. The rest of the afternoon passes without too much fuss. Focusing on work truly does make it easier to forget my worries, at least for the time being. And Mr. Coulson certainly doesn't complain. I worry that one of these days he'll combust while yelling at someone about a deadline. But not today, and not because of me. I get my final edited articles to him more or less on time, and I'm on my way home before I knew it. Really? I suppose I have been making an awful fuss over nothing. What a preposterous thing to be so upset about. I'm sure I gave some poor girl a good laugh at that's all. Besides which, it is, after all, only a letter. I'm under no obligation to do anything more, and furthermore... So really, there isn't any cause for dismay. I'm sure that everything will be... Wah, wah, wah. There's a letter on the table. Who ever would have thought? There's a letter on the table, right on top of the Evening Times. It must have just come in the post. Perhaps I could just ignore it. Just rip that in the bin. Bye. No. I'm being ridiculous. I'm being preposterous. I had better just open the blasted thing. Letter. Mr. Brooks. Oh goodness, here it goes. I was delighted to receive your response to my advertisement. You'll forgive me for saying so, I'm sure, but I found your letter positively charming. I should very much like the chance to get to know you more, without the barrier of postal service in the way. They got those letters to each other quite quick in this day and age. Like, surely that would have taken quite a long time to get those letters to each other. Perhaps we could meet for tea at a favourite establishment of mine this coming Saturday. It is on Bishopsgate Street, and it serves a fine cup of tea, or coffee, if it is your preference. Please do let me know if this plan suits, and I shall eagerly await your reply. Yours hopefully, S. Charkham. Heavens, I feel like I need to sit down. Well, she doesn't want to meet until Sunday at least. That's nearly a week. So I've got time to decide. Yes, I've got time. got time to think about it logically and reasonably, and I pause. I suppose I don't know what's stopping me. Miss Charkham seemed perfectly lovely. Why, she said she thought I was charming. Me, of all people. Don't remember the last time anyone said something like that about me. I'm not sure anyone ever has, in fact. Wouldn't be so terrible just to go for tea, would it? What on earth am I so afraid of? I'll write her after dinner and put it in the Morning Post. Maybe the Afternoon Post. Not sure I should look too eager. But I'll write her all the same. And that will be that. Camilla is going to be shocked when I tell her. I might have to stop by in person just to see the look on her face. But perhaps dinner first. It wouldn't do to write on an empty stomach, after all. That doesn't tend to end well. What has he written on an empty stomach? It's not that I'm avoiding the matter, it's just taking time to consider it properly. Still, there's only so long I can delay. Alright, I'd better get this letter written now, or I'm never going to. Now, what to write? Oh, this is cool. I've never seen options set up this way before. Oh, it's pretty. I like that they look like letters. And I've never seen a horizontal menu choice before. To the most lovely and charming Miss Charkham. Nothing could have possibly made me happier than receiving a response. Miss Charkham. Dear Miss Charkham, I was delighted to receive your reply. Probably won't matter for the demo what we choose, but... He's gonna be for an awkward surprise when he finds that Miss Charkham is not a miss. Well, let's go with the eloquent and flowery. To the most lovely and charming Miss Charkham. Nothing could have possibly made me happier than receiving your response. Oh dear, I'm only now realizing that my hand may be a bit coarse for this application. I do hope she can tell that that's meant to be miss and not a tangled ball of string. Does he have bad handwriting? Your offer is amiable. Well, any road? There's not much I can do about it, but keep going. Next should be... Oh, wow. I look forward to meeting you as soon as possible, as soon as can possibly be managed. Sunday is far too distant. Might I see you tomorrow? Your offer is amiable. I am honoured by your swift reply, and your proposal suits me very well. I greatly look forward to making your acquaintance. Let's meet tomorrow. I am honoured by your swift reply, and your proposal suits me very well. I look forward to making your acquaintance. Most sincerely, Hugo E. Brooks. There, that ought to do it. I hope. And I've certainly spent enough of my evening dithering over correspondence. I can worry about this when it's closer to Saturday, I'm sure. I might as well not have gone to work that Saturday at all for all that I managed to accomplish. And by the time I got home and prepared myself to meet the mysterious Miss Charkham, perhaps I should have gone to Camilla for advice. Perhaps it's still not too late to go ask her? Well, if I'm going to go, I'd best go now. and it would be quite rude to not go meet Miss Charkham now that I've said I would. I'm being ridiculous, aren't I? She's just a person. I'm acting as though I was going to face my death, not meeting a charming young lady for tea. Stop acting like such a coward and just go, Hugo. Any minute now. Procrastination. Oh, honestly. Sometimes I don't even know what to do with myself. The journey gives me some more time to clear my head, at least. I don't quite know what to expect, and I think that's the most frightening thing. What does one do when meeting a stranger for tea? He's going on a blind date. For that matter, what does one do when meeting a lady for tea? Oh, you won't have to find out. Asking Carmilla for advice would have been a bit humiliating, but at least then I might have had some idea what I was walking into. Oh, I think that's it. Ooh, another really nice background. It's almost like a photo. This is a bit more polished establishment than the places I might normally go. The people inside are dressed quite fashionably. Yes. All the people. But it isn't as intimidating as I feared. Not as though I'm going to be dining with the Queen after all. It's only tea. Well, at least they've made it here in one piece. Now I just need to find... Before I can start to even think about how to find Miss Charkham, someone speaks up from behind me. Pardon me, but are you Mr. Brooks? Oh, why, yes I am, and you are... I turn and suddenly find that all the words I could have possibly thought to say are quite gone from my head. He looks fancy. Oh goodness. What a striking figure, and quite well dressed. I'd wager that this fellow doesn't work at a newspaper. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I apologize if I startled you. I just had to be sure I found you. If you like, we might take a seat. I've already secured a table for us just over there. It is only now that I truly start to realize what is happening and who this strange man is. I'm sorry. And I suppose you are... Mr. Charkham? Oh, I've rushed past that part, haven't I? Yes, I am. It is so wonderful to meet you properly. You're just as I imagined you to look from your letters. Well, at least one of us can say so, I suppose. I realize now that I must surely have misunderstood some part of our exchange. He certainly seems to have been expecting me, and not a young lady. I suppose I could always clear up the misunderstandings and leave, but... Well, for one thing, I'm already here. Oh, he's so much calmer now. He's entranced. And after all the stress I put myself to arrive at this restaurant, I should very much like a cup of tea to calm my nerves. But even beyond that, I must admit, I find that Mr. Charkham inspires great curiosity in me. There is just something about him that I find fascinating, even after this brief moment of acquaintance. I find that I don't want to leave just yet, not until I've learned a little more about him. Still, how mortifying that to have not realized all along that I was making arrangement to meet a man. I'm sorry. You'll have to forgive. You see, I wasn't expecting... You weren't expecting what? Nothing. I apologize, it's nothing. Please forget I said anything. As you say, Mr. Brooks. Now, shall we? After you, sir. Mr. Charkham is not what I expected at all, and that only partially owes to him being a man. A gentleman, even by the looks of things. Though I suppose his gentleman confidence matches well to the tone of his letters. He carries himself like a man with nothing to fear. I find him rather intriguing, I must admit. I can't help but wonder what else I might come to learn about him in time. Hey, that was really sweet. This demo has just come out, and it's a little bit different to what you normally see with romance VN. And I think that's really exciting. There's seeing a little bit more diversity through just the kinds of people that you play games as, and art styles and stories, and the setting is very sweet. The characters seem lovely, and my accents are horrible, and I probably went through 1,000 of them because I can't do voices, but it doesn't stop me. I hope you enjoyed watching that. I hope you enjoyed the game most of all, and I hope you go and check it out. All the links to download it, find the creator, will be in the description box below. If there's anything else that you'd like to see played, shoot me a comment in the description. Not in the description. You can't comment in the description. In the comment section below. Or tweet me. That's also in the description.